All right, Music Scene Investigation is on the air. Glad you're with us, everybody. Glad you joined us today. We're pleased as punch to have you here. My name's Rich Wildman. I'll be your host today. And we've got a great show planned for you today. A lot of good music. Our panel is back as always. We're happy to have them with us as well. Let me turn some switches on my end, make sure everything's operating okay. I think it is. I'm not really sure. We'll find out. If it's your first time here for Music Scene Investigation, let me tell you a little bit about it and a little bit about what we do here. It's a show where we find great indie music, okay indie music, and sometimes not so great indie music, but at least we're honest about it. Our panel will take and review and critique those songs as they hear them for the first time without knowing what the genre, the name of the song is, or the name of the artist. They know absolutely nothing about what they're going to be hearing on the broadcast today. By the end of the show, they'll select a song of the week out of the music that they hear during the broadcast, which will go on to compete in our Band of the Month, and eventually, if everything works out, in for the Artist of the Year. So good luck to everybody involved, especially Tommy. Tommy, how are you today, sir? All the way from New York City is Mr. Tom Chianti. What's going on, man?
Oh boy, are my arms tired.
What'd you do, fly in from Jersey this morning?
Yeah, it was tough. Me and Chris Christie had an arm wrestle. I slapped him and walked away.
Well, good for you. Somebody's got to do that.
Yeah, but did you ever slap well, never mind.
A side of beef? A side of beef on a cold day? No, I can't say I have, Tom.
No. So I'm just continuing. We got some work coming in, so I've got to hurry up the resuscitation of the studio and get the patch bay. I got to add about another 1.5 miles of cabling, and then it should be done.
I saw the pictures you put up out on Google Plus, and you've added a lot to the studio. You said you were going out and buying another couple of miles worth of cable.
Yes. All this just to, I don't know, hear something.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Most people just get married when they want to hear something, like nagging wives or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah, there's another way to get slapped.
Yeah, that's a good point. Good point. Well, we're glad you're back with us, Tommy, as always, and keep building on that studio.
I will keep going until I run out of money, body parts, and other things.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to see the studio once it's finished. Now we go over to London, England, meeting our very own Mr. Ian Husbands. Ian, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you, Rich?
I'm not doing too bad. It's
Good.
warming up. It's spring. It's all good.
Oh, we've got the cold back a little bit here. It's decided that we've had summer, and we're going back to being cold.
Well, I heard that in southern England it was, 20 degrees Celsius. Everybody's out and going to the beach and all that kind of stuff.
It hasn't been that nice. No. Not here, anyway.
You need to talk to the weather guys then.
Or maybe the rest of the south and get some of the nice weather.
Either way, you're not in the south?
Well, I am, but the rest of the south.
I was going to say, I thought London was in the south of Great Britain.
It certainly is.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just weird that way. What is your shirt this week, Ian?
This is my VW Action superhero shirt.
And the VW superhero's name is actually Herbie.
It could be. I like that idea. We could put a little cape on him.
Is that an actual comic strip or what?
No, it's one of the festivals we play at.
Okay.
This VW Action is the name of the festival, and every year it's themed. And last year was superheroes. And if you remember, I went as Thor.
Right. We're still trying to talk you into coming on the show as Thor, but
I put the helmet on for you. Come on.
Yeah, but not the whole muscle suit and.
No.
Not that you need it with guns like those. I don't know. Whatever.
And this year, it's Zombie Fright Night, which is going to be interesting.
Yeah, no kidding. You have to get Tom to come over. Just kidding.
I'm just going to give a couple of quick plugs. I've been a busy boy this week.
All right, plug away, my friend.
I've had a couple of videos go out this week. The first one with a bunch of guys you may have heard of, Walk Off the Earth.
Yes.
And I've done a lyric video for them for their original track Shake, which you can go and find on YouTube now. And also my band, my Function, my original project, I suppose is the best way of putting it. We've released a new song and video this week as well, a song called Submission, with a rather cool interactive YouTube video. So go and check that out on my channel as well.
Yeah, I saw that video. I was wondering whether or not I should actually call the authorities, for some kind of intervention to happen or not. I don't want to give it away, but it is a fairly disturbing video.
It's kind of dark, yes.
Yeah, kind of dark? You think? I think
it's art. It's art.
It is something else. I'll say that.
It's the dark part.
In all fairness, it's not that dark. It's bright orange.
No, and the music is good. I enjoyed the music.
And the noodles are delicious.
What kind of noodles were those, by the way, Ian?
They weren't noodles. You've seen the film Lost Boys, right?
There you go, Tom. Now you have your answer.
Thank you.
I don't know. I don't know what to do. Somebody help me, please. All right, our guest panelist is with us. Maybe he'll rescue me. Our guest panelist works for GForce Software, is an audio engineer, software god. Anybody who can write software, because I can't. There's obviously gods to me. So please welcome, if you would, our guest panelist, Mr. Jon Hodgeson. Jon, welcome back to the broadcast, sir.
Hi, nice to be back.
It's great to have you back. So it's been a while since you've been on the broadcast with us. How things been going for you?
Pretty good. Work is going along smoothly enough, slower than I'd like. Managed to get some travelling in. And yes, it's all ticking on quite nicely, really.
Now, we talked a little bit before the show about what you've been up to since the last time you've been on the broadcast. And I know that there are a lot of secret projects we can't talk about. We talked, I think last time you were on the broadcast, we talked about the controller for the Imposcar 2, if I remember correctly, which was an amazing controller. So since that time you were on the broadcast, what have you been doing that you can talk about?
Not really very much that I can talk about. I am working on future plugins, but until they're at a point where we at least got something to show, we're not going to announce anything. I've got a certain amount of involvement in stuff that GForce release in the interim, I think. Yeah, I wish there was actually more I could talk about with my work. But there's as I said before, the secret bits, the interesting bits are secret, and the non-secret bits are boring.
Well, I guess that's the way it is when you work as a secret agent, right, Jon? I mean,
yeah, unfortunately, so
secret agent of sound.
Yeah.
Secret agent. I like that. You're gonna have to incorporate that on a website for you, Jon. Secret agent of sound.
I like it too.
This is you come from the MSI branch. You're our secret agent of sound.
Uh-huh.
There you have it. It's a done deal then, I think. The Jon Hodgeson, secret agent of sound.
Except we've just told everyone, so it's not that secret.
Now, is a secret agent of sound, is that the anagram for that SOS then? Is that would, I guess, be what it is?
That would be pretty apt, probably.
All right, so now we know, and when I say we, I mean everybody here at the MSI Labs and our audience know that not only are you a grade A top level engineer when it comes to audio, but you're also a musician. Now, correct me if I'm wrong there. You're a damn good musician, right?
I let other people judge how good I am, but I am a musician, yes.
All right, now Ian can judge because he's heard you play. He's been there. Ian, am I right when I say damn good musician?
Do you know what? I'm going to tell you a little story.
Oh.
All right? Because I don't know if I've told this before on the show, but I'm going to tell it again if I have.
Okay.
When I met John, we were doing the jam night down in a local venue near me now called the Fox and Pheasant, which is now a Tesco's. And John used to come and sit at the back most weeks and watch, probably for about 3 years. Am I right, John?
I don't know if it was quite that long, but quite a long time.
Yeah, it felt like 3 years, put it that way.
And things you do around me.
You know, he didn't really have much to say and used to talk about guitars and mention that he had them, but didn't really sort of say that he played them sort of thing. And it's cool, never asked to get up. And then one week he just said, "Can I play some guitar?" Didn't know you did, John. And he got up. And to be honest, John was of a good level, but, you know, didn't have the live experience. And I've watched John every week nearly, virtually every week, isn't it, John? Unless you're off on some sailboat or some exotic island somewhere.
Like Madagascar. Just to throw it in.
And I have watched John sort of be in and out of bands and play every week at a jam night, and John has come on a hell of a lot, to the point that sometimes you're sort of stood outside having a cigarette or something like that, and there's a solo going, you think, oh, bloody hell, who's playing that? And you pop your head around the door, and there's John just sort of head down, playing away, and it sounds absolutely fantastic. That's honest for you.
Oh, there you have
nice
it.
to hear.
There you have it. So a darn good musician when it comes right down to it. So what's been going on that front, John? Since we can't get you to open up about the secret projects, I think I'll bring in the alternate Jon Hodgeson.
We've done. I've got one band going at the moment, which we've done just a few gigs last year, a couple of charity events, a few pub gigs, which I hopefully pick up a bit more this year. I'm hoping to do. I form another band. Because I've got enough time. Doing more sort of rocky stuff. What else am I doing? Working on. Not sure if there'll be any pantomime recording this year.
He's behind you.
Absolutely. I've done some guitar parts for pantomimes. Actually, didn't do any last year. But a couple of years before that.
Oh no, you didn't.
Anybody who doesn't know pantomime is wondering what this whole "oh no, you didn't" and it's behind you thing is.
Well, no, they're not. You're definitely going to have to tell us now that you brought it up, because I know that I'm sitting here going, I don't know what they're talking about. And I can see Tommy's reaction.
You don't have pantomimes over in America, no?
No, we have mimes. You know, I get the mimes, but we just don't generally call them pantomimes.
A pantomime is a Christmas show normally over here. And it is where, you know, the dame is played by a bloke and the bloke is played by a woman.
The lead boy is always a girl.
Yeah, lead boy is always a girl, and the lead dame is always a man. And, you know, you get famous TV stars and comedians and that coming up and doing these parts, and all the sort of C-list celebrities appearing in them as well. And, you know, they take a classic story like Dick Whittington or, you know, Jack and the Beanstalk or something like that. And then they do like a musical presentation with lots of funny stuff going on around it. And it's always audience participation. And they'll go, you know, if you see Widow Twanky come on the stage, you've got to shout, "It's behind you." And of course, at that point in time, Widow Twanky comes on the stage and the whole audience goes, "He's behind you."
Okay, I get it now.
With it?
And that is probably, folks, one of the additional reasons that the U.S. left Great Britain. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. So, John, again, music is something that you do that not a lot of people might know about. When did you get started in music? How did that come about?
Well, my first interest in music came from electronics, funny enough. And it was a project that never really got off the ground, but I had a friend, I still have a friend, who's a musician and singer, and this was back when I was at school. and samplers were new. And the idea came, and electronics and computers were my thing. And the idea came up to do a sampler, create a sampler, and started on the design and so on, but never really got up as far as all that because of budget at the time and what I knew. But it would have actually been, the more I've learned, the more I realised I was completely on the right track, and I would have been ahead of the game, which is annoying. But then, so that got me sort of close to music, and got to know. It's sort of strange in a way that I got into it via interest in synthesis, but the instrument I chose to go with was guitar. But through that contact, I got to know musicians. So I bought my first guitar, and then became a bedroom player for the next decade and something until the jam with Ian.
And is that along that road? Is that same road what took you to your position or your interest in audio engineering as well, electronics and so forth?
Yes, I mean not. It wasn't that long after that I was doing the repairs for Roland in the Midlands area. All the warranty repairs and various amplifiers and stuff. So yes, so the electronics and the audio have always been together. And so yes, I started doing repairing amplifiers and synths and so on as well.
Okay.
And it also it's been sort of what got me into the producing the plugins.
And the plugin creation and whatnot, was that something you did because of finding a job doing it, or was it something you started doing before you got a job doing it? I guess what I'm trying to say is, was it something you did because there wasn't anything out there that you found that worked the way you wanted it to, so you started building them, or was it a different story than that?
Well, the story of the imposter in my work with GForce is that I was, after a period when I was building recording studios for people and stuff like that, and then went back into software. I went to work with Sensora, who were doing 3D sound stuff. And then I went on to a company called G Media Technologies, who were working, they were working on a multimedia programming language, and I was doing video optimization for them. And also one division of it was a very small company, but one corner of the company was two guys, Chris and Dave. In fact, Dave didn't even spend most of the time in the office. He was working from home, who had been a separate company called Keyfax. Mm-hmm. You had originally they had the twiddly bits they did with June Colbeck was the American rep of it, which was MIDI sequences of, which were done with real players playing live instruments. So the guitar MIDI sequences were all guitarists on MIDI guitar controllers.
Right.
The drums were done with MIDI drums, and they had people like Bill Bruford and so on doing those. Anyway. And they had the little Fat Boy controller, which I may have one around here somewhere, which was one of the first hardware controllers. Anyway, they'd been a separate company, and then it became part of G Media Technologies. And then that company went down the tubes with investment, etc. These things often do, startups. And anyway, a few months later, I'd done a contract for some MP3 stuff and so on, but I see an advert for a position developing VST plugins. And by this time, actually, G Media Technologies had done the Mtron plugin.
Okay.
These guys.
Right.
This was Mellotron. And anyway, but the company, it had all gone down the tubes, but I knew that particular division had carried on. And anyway, so I see a thing, and it's Reading, and it's VSTs, and I'm thinking, it's got to be them.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. So anyway, I phoned Chris up and I say, is this you guys who are looking for someone? Because I'm not going to go through an agency if I can avoid it. And he said, actually, no, that's not us, but we are interested in doing some stuff. And he listed a couple of projects. One was the ARP Odyssey, which then Ownforce went and did with them. That's the Oddity. And he said, another one I'm thinking of doing is the Oscar. And I've always been quite fascinated by the Oscar synth, partly because it's one of the first ones I kind of noticed when I started getting into music and so on. And I said, I wouldn't mind doing that.
And that's how it started then, huh?
Yeah. And
Wow.
then I had to learn how to emulate an analog synth.
So
And I'd just like to sort of make a quick connection here. Nick Andrew, who we've had on the show, and also is coming back on the show soon, plays synths that Jon makes, including one track on the new Zipper Tongue album they're putting out.
I did not know this.
So there you go.
Yeah, and the track's name?
It's called Omnisphere, isn't it? Not Omnisphere, it's called Imposca, isn't it?
Yes, that's the one.
Yes, sorry, wrong synth. You've made so many.
Well, there you have it. So new music coming out from, actually not from Jon, but kind of through Jon in a way, right, Jon? It's kind of through you.
It's nice to know. Nice to think I've had some contribution.
You got to thank you on the album, I know, because I've done the artwork.
Excellent.
Oh, there you have it. There you have it. And I'll tell you what, let's listen to some new music today, because after all, that's one of the reasons we're here. So if you guys are ready for it, I know that I am, and hopefully everybody else is as well. Let's take a listen to the first song on today's Music Scene Investigation. Here it is, everyone. This is song number 1. Enjoy.
Picked you up on a Saturday night. Never saw such beauty on the passenger side. You were born to ride. Bottle sweating pressed between your thighs, and hanging out of the window, your hand in the sky. Spread out wide, just you and me in time, throwing all our cares aside. On a summer night, on a summer night, laugh with friends under carnival lights. No liquor allowed, we got it inside, and snuck it on the ride. Drove to the beach, built a fire, cheeks red from the heat, running my hands down your side. Don't worry girl, it's alright. Just you and me in time, throwing all our cares aside. On a summer night, on a summer night, and your front porch windows like a speaker on a radio, playing sunset song from the summer long ago. When I hear your mama singing, know it's time to go. It's time to go. It's time to go. we'll add it to mine. Well, this is ride or die. Just you and me in time, throwing all our cares aside. On a summer night, on a summer night, on a summer night, keep it dry.
There you have it. Song number 1 on today's music scene investigation. Let's go to Ian and find out what he thought. Ian, you're up first, my friend. What do you think about track number 1?
Yeah, very pleasant track. Production and mix-wise, fantastic. Everything sounds really nice. Like, was it mandolin or banjo? He's sitting in there in the background. It was really nice, well placed. You know, if I'm going to get picky, there were a couple of string buzzes and stuff in there on the guitars, but I really don't mind that, to be honest. I like that sort of, keep it a bit more natural, a bit more human. Performances were all generally very good. Liked the drums a lot. They sounded great. They were well played. Nice little bits where the toms were hooking in with the vocal line, and yeah, everything was put together very nicely. But it was kind of put together by formula. I felt from the songwriting point of view, it was very safe. You know, verse, chorus, middle eight, verse, sort of verse, outro, which is great. I'm going to guess it was on a summer's night or summer's night.
I'll tell you in a little bit.
Oh, come on. You never just come on. You know, it's a safe bet, isn't it? And if it's not, it should be, because that's what people are going to remember. You know, it's a good track. It's well mixed. It's well produced. It is written well to a very old, familiar formula. Not saying that's always a bad thing, because, you know, people like to be familiar with things when they listen to it for the first time. And it is one of those tracks that holds a certain air of familiarity about it. You've heard it before, but yeah, it's well done. A little bit cliche for me, not the sort of thing I'd rush out and buy, but a lot of people will.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, Ian. Thank you very much. Let's go over to Mr. Tom Chianti and get his thoughts. Tommy, what do you think of track number 1?
I agree a lot with what Ian said. I really like that bed of all different types of guitars. They had a tremolo guitar, a 12-string maybe capoed up, and a mandolin. It was all spread out. The mix was very good. I would have liked a little bit more tip on the bass to have it come out a little bit more. It's one of those songs that doesn't have a traditional chorus. It really, what happens is there's a really cool chord change, and he does his lines, and that's basically the chorus. The chord change is cool. I like it. It's memorable. It's a little on the safe side in overall, but the guy tells a good story. Everything is, like Ian said, the mix is really good. The performances are there. The drums are played very well. I would have liked a little laid back, like maybe Margaritaville, but even more laid back than that. I just wish there would have been a little bit of dynamics, or more of dynamics. I was waiting for him to go up into an octave voice or a higher voice, especially, and the middle eight would have been the place to really do that. And so it seemed to, you know, it was a very nice level, but it just stayed there. So it's a good album track. It's a type of track at the end of the night in a bar, people play, make out in dark corners. Pinky said it's a high school prom makeout song. And there are certain areas of this country where this thing would go very, very well, as is. I just wish, not so much song dynamics, but vocal dynamics. That's what I'm thinking I was looking for. But overall, it's very well done.
All right, Tommy, I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Over to Mr. Jon Hodgeson from GForce Software. John, what's your take on track number 1?
Not sure if there's much I can add, really, because it is, as Ian said, it's a nicely produced tune and really quite formulaic in its way. I found the scratchy bits on the guitar and the acoustic a little bit more irritating than him, probably. Might just be the headphones I'm listening on, but more importantly, I think there are a few little clicks and scratches there, which if you listen to it enough times might start getting a bit irritating. But that wouldn't take much to sort those out. I liked the tremolo sound on the guitar. That seemed to be well done. It just seemed to fit. Yes, might have been interesting to have a bit more variation in the dynamics. It is a fairly sort of constant feel all the way through. And the only other thing for me is that if it felt a little bit slow, but that's not so much the tempo, and it's just I'm thinking of it in a particular context because it's a mix with a double time feel and the pulse would say get every beat having a bit stronger. Would probably go down very well with the West Coast swing community for dance. It sounds so much like a lot of stuff they use. So that's all I can say, really. I mean, overall, it's really good. There's only time, little bits that you can change to make that particular song or that recording any better.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, John. Thank you very much as well. Let me take and introduce that track to everybody. The name of that track, as Ian surmised, is Not Tell Me Why by Aiden. I need to change those. It's On a Summer Night. Sorry, I thought I'd, surprise you a bit, and I guess It's called On a Summer Night by Billy Lord. We appreciate Billy sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Thank you, Bill. And there you have it. That is song number 1. Gentlemen, it happens all the time, and this week is no different. We've got 2 more songs for you to listen to, so let's go ahead and take a listen to track number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Here it is, everyone. Track number 2. Enjoy.
Comes up in the eastern sky, kissed her lips and said goodbye. And where are you gonna sleep tonight? She has no place to call her own, she has no means to make a home. Oh, where are you gonna sleep tonight? She lays her head neath the midnight moon, prays to God it'll be over soon, 'cause she's so tired of living out this life. She's only warm in the midday sun, she has no friends, not even one. Oh, where are you gonna sleep tonight? Yes, where are you gonna sleep tonight? Walk the streets from dusk till dawn, with shattered dreams and her clothes are worn. And where are you gonna sleep tonight? She finds some days without, but who really cares? And where are you going to sleep tonight? She lays her head beneath the midnight moon and prays to God it'll be over soon, 'cause she's so tired of living out this life. She's only warm in the midday sun. She has no friends, not even one. Oh, where are you gonna sleep tonight? Yes, where are you gonna sleep tonight? God, it'll be over soon, 'cause she's so tired of living out this life. She's only warm in the midday sun. She has no friends, not even one. Oh, where are you gonna sleep tonight? Yes, where are you gonna sleep tonight? The sun comes up in the eastern sky, kissed her lips and said goodbye.
There you have song number 2 on today's Music Scene Investigation. We're going to start this round off with Mr. Tom Chianti. Hey, Tommy, what do you think about track number 2?
All right, here we go. First thing that struck me was the wooden piccolo snare. Very inappropriate for this type of song. Tune it down, add some bottom. It's programmed. It's very safe program. Drums, why they picked that record scratching sound for a hi-hat is beyond me. There was vocal distortion, too much low end on the lead vocal and the bottom. They needed to thin that out a little bit. It distorted quite a bit on and off, and it was very distracting to me, because that snare just popped, kept pop, kept pop, kept pop, kept popping. And, I mean, songwriting-wise, it's an interesting song. I would definitely change some sounds around. I like the fact that it had, a little bit of dynamics where it did, go up vocal-wise there, as the other song did not. But the other song was mixed so much better, and all the sounds were creative and fit, while this seemed disjointed sound-wise. A lot of it has to do with production. Some of it has to do with mix. It just didn't gel for me. It's a good, very, very good demo, but I think before they present it to someone, they should, think about getting a live drummer. Definitely change. Well, getting a live drummer will put a real sounding snare in there and a real sounding hi-hat. That will make it a big plus. The guitar solo.
I'm going to butt in here. That was a live drummer. He made mistakes.
Okay, I was just listening to the snare where it was just consistently the same sound throughout.
Maybe a live drum on a MIDI kit.
Okay, that fits the bill. And the guitar solo, cliched, heard it, done it, been there. Hop on trigger, get back into the studio, and work it up better.
All right, Tommy, I appreciate that. I couldn't tell whether it was live or Memorex or whatnot. I have no idea. All right, let's go to Jon Hodgeson from GForce Software. John, track number 2 to you, my friend. What do you think?
Well, the first thing that struck me was the noise at the beginning, which I don't know if that was put there on purpose or if it was the way they recorded it, but that just sounded wrong to me. Then I think Ian's probably right about it being a live drummer. I think there was a bit right near the beginning on the snare that sounded wrong to me in terms of the playing. And then I think it's the hi-hat. I'm not sure it's the hi-hat all the way through that what I'm listening on the moment just comes through as clickety click click click. So that just got distracting and annoying, that sound. It sounded more like a click than a musical instrument. Other than that, I mean, the song itself was okay. There was a bit where it seemed to me like the vocals, the space they were sitting in, sort of overlapped, but not completely with other instruments there. So there was some bits where I was listening where, depending on where in his range he was singing, he'd come out quite clearly because there'd be nothing sort of around that audio space. And then he'd go lower in the range and suddenly it would get hidden behind other stuff a lot more. So that just seemed inconsistent. And yes, I've written down distortion on vocals here as well. It wasn't even consistent on the thing. It didn't sound like he wanted it to distort. It just did. So I think Tom's very right. It's a decent song, but needs a lot of work on the actual performance and recording.
All right. Well, I appreciate that, John. Thank you very much. Now over to Mr. Ian Husbands and his thoughts. Ian?
All right. Start with, I thought the mix overall was very bright. There was that background hiss on that acoustic guitar. There was background noise coming in, and you could hear it quite evidently. Gates and de-essers, and even just normal EQ, you can get rid of some of that. As it was, the mix was very bright anyway, so you're probably pumping the top end to get things to cut through, thus getting that more background hiss coming through if it is there. Obviously, that needs to be cured by miking better, or DIing, or however you're sort of basically getting a better recording setup for the acoustic guitar. There's some good stuff going on here. There is a song. It sounds to me like they've either gone in the studio, they're over-rehearsed, everyone's afraid of getting it wrong, and everyone's turned to just getting through it rather than enjoying it and playing music and enjoying playing music. It sounds like they're just getting it down. And, it sounds like they've maybe tried 3 or 4 times and everyone's a little bit fed up by now and it's not working. Things like the guitar solo, maybe even the vocals, possibly overdubbed. But it does. The whole song to me just sounds like the whole band can't be bothered. And they need to sort of get a bit of passion in there in everything. And play the song. And sound like you enjoy playing the song. People can obviously play. There were some good performances going on. The drummer did drop a few bits on the fills and sort of changes the transitions between verses and choruses. And go back and re-record that because you'll be happier when it does. As for the mix, as I said, I found it all too bright, and I think there's a lot of balancing out needs to be done. Lots of reverbs going on the backing vocals and that lead guitar, which were just too wet for my liking. I mean, I really do think they've got the start of something here, but they need to go back and look at it and when they record it, sound like you're enjoying playing. Or at least if it's not a song to be enjoyed, you're putting the passion and the emotion into that song that it deserves.
All right, makes sense. I appreciate that, Ian. Thank you. The name of this track, let me see if I can get it right this time. The name of this track is Where Are You Gonna Sleep Tonight by Howdel. Howdel, we appreciate you sending that track into Music Scene Investigation. Now, before we go on to our next track, I do want to invite everybody to go out and visit a friend of ours at the Indie Music Bus. I want you to get on the bus, forget about everything else. If you're an indie artist and wondering about social media, the Indie Music Bus can help you out. They know a little bit more than anybody I know about social media, how it works, and how to get the word out about your stuff, your concerts, your gigs, your albums, and all that good stuff. So talk to Walt over at the Indie Music Bus and get all the info out on the web that you can. He's the guy to go to on that one. All right, gentlemen, we've got some more music on the show to play. So I want to ask you, if you would, to take a listen to song number 3 on today's Music Scene Investigation. Here it is, everyone. This is track number 3. Enjoy it. And with the sound of the rain, that is track number 3 on today's MSI. We're going to start this round of reviews out with John, finding out what he thinks first. John, track number 3, what do you think?
Interesting. It's quite hard for me to... Still getting some noise through. It's hard for me to sort of judge it in many ways because musically it's not in any area that I'm used to. So, I mean, listening to it, there were bits, just speaking about musically rather than the recording at the moment, there were parts where I was finding it quite pleasant, interesting. Other bits where it sort of went a bit beyond me, and I'm not sure whether that'll grow on me when I listen to it more, or I just come to dislike it more when stuff's sort of out there for me. One of the two can happen. In terms of recording, not much I can say. I can think of really. They did strike me that although the levels were low, are you getting funny noise coming through?
I'm getting a little bit of wind I'm trying to get rid of here, so go ahead.
Take some tablets.
Okay. Yeah, the levels were very low, which is quite nice after you've had your ears blasted. But at the same time, it seemed like the microphones were actually being pushed to distort slightly. So it makes me wonder about the gain staging they're using. Yes. But other than that, yeah, as I said, it's so far out of what I'd normally listen to that I can't really give a very good criticism of it, to be honest.
All right. Well, I appreciate the information you did pass on, so thank you for that. Let's go to Ian and get his take on it. Ian, what do you think?
This is an interesting piece. I mean, yeah. This took me back to my childhood. I think it was Tales of the Unexpected, which used to have at the end credits a music box which just used to spin with a kind of eerie piece of music playing over the top of it. And it was that sort of dissonant minor chord sort of clashing notes that kind of popped up in this track a few times, and it gave me that sort of quite dark feeling. I mean, you know, the dark feeling, so much so that when this track started playing, it started to bucket down with rain outside, and as soon as it finished, the rain stopped. What?
You're not serious. Come on. Rain?
Oh, was it on the track? Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely peeing there. What a waste of a good microphone. Yeah, there was something about this that strikes a chord with me. From a recording point of view, I found it a bit sharp on the high end. But maybe that's what they were going for. Again, with this sort of dark, edgy sort of piece, it works to be a little bit uncomfortable when listening to it, if that makes sense. Obviously, performance-wise, they can play piano a hell of a lot better than me, because I know a few chords. So I'm not going to diss the performance. Yeah, I mean, you know, if it was with a drummer and a bass player and you were expecting them to hold beat, then there would be some timing issues. But in such a freestyle piece like this, the timing is what you make of it, and it adds to the drama. I like it. It's odd. It's quirky. It reminds me of my dark childhood memories, and yeah, I like it. I think.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah. I don't know.
Get out in the rain a little bit more, Ian. Thank you very much. Tommy, what about you? Track number 3, do anything for you?
Well, I put it in the experimental category. I see it, strangely enough, as a very dramatic pause in, like, remember Dark Shadows? Or some soap opera where something evil is going on. As Ian said, it's very dark. Yes, the guy can play. Maybe he overplayed a little bit. Maybe not. It depends what he was going for. I think this was a live, real piano, and miking a real live piano, especially if it's, you know, a baby grand or a grand, is very, very hard, because I heard pedal noise. Yes, as John said, there was low-end distortion when he started playing those runs down there. Yeah, gain staging, compression was bringing up some extra noise. It's like I said, it's very hard to mic a good piano. I think the guy did okay with it. And as far as expressing it as a mood piece, it's very dark and very dramatic indeed. I wouldn't call it bizarre or anything like that, but it makes you feel something, which music should. So on that, it's a plus. Even if it makes you feel uncomfortable or makes you think of something you're not really happy with or whatever, it works on that level. But I think the structure could have been, at some points it just sounded like he was doing runs up and down the piano. I was hoping for more. I thought it would have been great if halfway through he would have broke into ragtime. That would have laughed my ass off.
That would have been brilliant. Going to the Entertainer or something like that.
Yeah. I think it could be still maintain the free form, be a little bit more structured, and have some type of theme behind it. Unfortunately, the recording isn't as good as I would like, but it's not as bad as some I've heard. And as Ian said, yeah, the guy can play keys a hell of a lot better than me. So overall, it makes you feel something good. Makes you feel something bad. So it works in that way as an experimental mood piece.
All right, Tommy, I appreciate that. The name of this particular track is, for the record, it's called Running Through, and it's by Milena Tomic. Milena Tomic. We appreciate Milena sending that track in. I don't know if she's related or not, Tommy. I'm not sure. You're going to have to talk to her, Tommy.
Yeah, right. Stealing my name.
Well, it is what it is. So, all right, gentlemen, you do have the task, as always, of deciding on a song of the week of the three you just heard. So I'm going to leave you to that right now to let you guys make that decision.
I'm going to jump right in and say number one.
All right, easily enough heard from Tommy. What about you, Ian and John? What do you think?
Who's going to speak first?
Hello, darkness, my old friend.
Go on, John.
Okay, quick assessment. It's definitely not song 2, because that, needs a lot of work in terms of the recording. So for me, it's between song 1 and song 3. Song 1, you could probably put it on the radio now. I mean, it is very well done overall. There's only a couple of bits I can pick up on. But I'm going to go off the wall and say song 3, and simply because song 1, as Ian said, it is formulaic. It sounds very similar to a large number of very well written and recorded songs I've heard. And so it's for me, this is a very personal decision, it's more of the same, whereas song 3 pushes me out of my comfort zone a bit and makes me listen a bit more. So for a change, I'm going to go with that.
All right. And Ian, what do you think? Are you going to break this tie or cause a three-way?
I'm certainly not having a three-way with these two. No offense, boys. Not my type. Now, you see, I was really hoping that I was going to be forced not to have to make a decision, because number one is well produced, it's well written, it's well mixed, it's well performed. It is a little bit, needs some work from the dynamic point of view and the formulaic point of view, in my opinion. But it's radio and would probably get some listens on mainstream stations now. But it kind of left me feeling a bit cold, not because it's not well done, it's just not my thing. But number 3, in a weird way, again, it's not my thing, it's not the sort of thing I'd rush out and buy. But it touched me, it made me think, it took me back to other memories. And that is really what music should be doing, in my opinion. So I'm torn, because there's the part of me wants to sort of say, well, the common sense answer here is number 1. It is the best produced, it is the best written. it is the best mixed, etc., etc. But it didn't touch me, and I'm going to break the mold with Jon this week. I'm sorry, we go for a lot of really well produced songs, really well written songs, but there's pieces like this out there that need exposure sometimes. I'm going to go with number 3.
All right. Well, it is not unanimous, but number 3 is the song of the week, "Running Through" by Milena, Tomic. And no relation.
That's why I couldn't vote for number 3. We are related.
Come on, Tom. That's not true. Just now. It's not true. Tom is not related to Milena Tomic. At least not that we know of. Right, Tommy? Okay. All right.
It's a child of mine that I did not know.
Yeah, well, that is the song of the week. It's called "Running Through" again, and we want to hear what you have to say about it as well. So click on that button down here at the bottom and file your witness statement as well, if you would, please. We would appreciate that. Jon, thank you for being here once again, my friend. It's been too long. We need to have you on more often.
It's a pleasure to be here. If I can just throw in the fact that over the next few months, GForce are having some competitions on their website to win synths. Including, you've got 2 days left on the Oscar Colouring In contest, or the Oscar Colouring In contest.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Let's tell everybody exactly what that is and where they need to go. They need to go to GForce Software's website at GForceSoftware.com.
Yeah, if you go to GForceSoftware.com, you'll see it in the news column on the right-hand side. I don't know what the next competitions are going to be, but this first one, which unfortunately has only got a day or two to run now, it's just it came from them messing about, but it's a colouring in contest. You download a line drawing of an Oscar, colour it in, send it in, and it will be judged by Chris's children for the best one. And they're putting them up on the website as well. And whoever wins an Oscar too.
I'm getting my crayons out now.
I'm expecting great things from you, Ian. Yeah, no, it's a bit of fun. You can see what other people have put in already.
Can I use fuzzy felt?
What's that, Ian?
Can I use fuzzy felt?
You can use what you like. There's one on there. You actually have a look at the page. There's one page where somebody appears to have photographed the line drawing with a tomato on top of it and a couple of other things. It's very avant-garde. There's no way I can describe it. You got to see it. It's like, what?
There's a cat called Oscar next door.
There you go. And a couple of people have actually sent in, have done complete their own drawings, not from the line drawing. So there's the "May the GForce be with you" one here.
There you go. I like that.
Anyway, yeah. So that's anyway. If you missed that one, there'll be another contest. They'll show us next month or the month after, but there's going to be more competitions. So yeah, keep going along to the website and see what's happening.
Yep, go to GForceSoftware.com for more information on that, and you'll have to keep us up to date on that, Jon. Let us know who won that. If it was the tomato guy or if it's Ian's next door neighbor cat. Let us know about that. We appreciate everybody joining us this week. You can catch us live every Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. GMT. You'll want to be here. You know you do. See you next week right here on Music Scene Investigation. Until then, so long, everyone. Thanks for being with us. We're going to play out with "Running Through" by Milena Tomic here on MSI. See ya.
Bye.